I remember feeling really daunted. It was so big. I had a very small primary school, and to think we had 4 classes in each year group, it was huge. And moving around between lessons, that sort of thing, it was just completely different and very scary at first.
My primary school was tiny. We had like 120 kids. Suddenly I'm in a school that's got 1,000 kids.
There was, I felt like a lot of pressure and also a lot of excitement.
Certainly for the first few years at Bexley Grammar, we had the original headmaster, a guy called Mr. Lefevre, and he would come in, like in Harry Potter, they're all wearing the robes and like that. It was pretty strict in terms of expectations around behaviour.
For some reason I remember the vending machines. I thought that was really cool. I was like, there's vending machines?
Yeah.
The subjects I enjoyed, languages, maths, science, and there were subjects in which the teachers would account for and make room for my ADHD. They would make adjustments for me.
Bexley Grammar prides itself on teaching foreign languages, and I just so happen to really like all of those.
Essentially, you learn a lot of these, a lot of very interesting things about the cultures you were studying, as well as learning how to kind of speak all these different languages, which I found fascinating.
I think coming from primary school, actually going into a proper lab with real equipment and Bunsen burners and chemicals where you could sort of blow things up seemed really, really excited. And I had a really inspiring teacher as well.
Yeah, this is exactly the same. Even like the vines painted on the wall and that picture of like the gladiators or whatever.
I vividly remember that, like just even the boots and the way that shield is on the floor is like...
Yeah.
Wasn't it someone's job to clean the blackboard as well? It was like, responsibility was...
I think you considered yourself quite lucky if you were the person who was chosen to clean the blackboard.
It was quite full on. There was a lot of focus on you must do well.
We did kind of sit tests throughout the years, like all the way from year 7 going upwards.
I do remember that everybody's results were read out in front of everybody and you were given a position.
In your class?
In class. It was like, you were 4th equal, you were 3rd. It was read out in front of everyone.
Students would rank each other and be like, oh, who came first? Who got the highest mark? But the teachers in the school never made that a big priority.
Now this was kind of like a sort of safe space, wasn't it, this room? I just feel like this was like separate to the rest of the school for me. And like you come in here and it was like, yeah, this is drama.
I spent a lot of my early year break times at a board games club, which was a really great way to make friends with people from all different year groups across the school. There always felt like a safe space that people could just go and hang out in and chat, which was really nice.
I think Bexley Grammar was very person-centred, person-driven. It's about personal strengths, it's about encouraging other people, it's about emotional intelligence.
Being a well-rounded person.
Absolutely.
Do you remember when we did Band Aid BGS in here?
I do, yes. That's just taking me back. That was unbelievable, it was so good.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's because I was just thinking about why we were doing it, and it was because I think they'd done a new single, like a new Band Aid in 2004.
They had, yes, you're right.
And so for some reason I got it into my head that I wanted to do our own version of it. They were always really encouraging of that. I think that was one of the things that gave me a lot of confidence at the school.
I played netball after school. I would basically go and umpire for all the other years as well. So I was just always down by the gym or out on the sports courts.
This is where I spent most of my lunch times and after school. We were very happy here, my happy place.
Being in here just reminds me of how important it was at school. Not only in PE lessons, but also extracurricular. So whether you're playing for the school football team, whether you're doing cross country, yeah, it was a massive part of my school life.
We did have sports day every year, and where most of the students would groan that we would have to come in on a Saturday, I always really enjoyed them because everybody was encouraged to take part in a sport. But even if you weren't sporty, we had the summer fair going on at the same time, where every form would have a stall. We would have games that we would all invent and have parents and their families, students come round and try and play our carnival games.
School assemblies, we all sat on the floor until you got into 6th form, and then you could sit on a chair. Yeah, there was never any whispering, or if there was, you were in big trouble.
One year I won a purple spider about the size of 2 clenched fists. I thought, well, what can I do with this spider at the school to have maximum effect? I was in the 6th form at the time. We would go on the stage with the headmaster during school assembly. And what I did was I attached some nylon thread to the spider and then hoisted it up and over the rigging and placed it such that when the headmaster came in, he had his own podium and he would stand there and he would do all this, and it was just above him. Obviously the school's in uproar at this point, and then Headmaster David Jones picked up the spider and went, "And whose is this?" And he was laughing, the whole school was laughing, and it was, I mean, I've been back to the school a few times since I left, and they still remember that story.
These are what, house competitions?
House competitions, whether it was cricket or football or cross country, you name it.
I several times led the House Assembly, which gave me an excuse to play Pink Floyd, which was always a good thing to do.
The House Assembly's always had this underlying like house pride angle.
Oh, Young Enterprise. I did Young Enterprise. Do you remember this? 2004-5 Bexley Grammar School.
Is that you?
That was me.
Is that ZZ Enterprise?
That was ZZ Enterprise right here on that trophy right there. I actually can't believe that's in there. I feel genuinely quite shocked.
You're actually in the trophy case.
Secondary school, it's a weird time. It's a roller coaster. It's got its ups and downs.
I certainly had a happy time at school.
Just a lot of difficulties for me that I faced. So complicated is what I would say.
Fond memories, definitely, even though it was a bit of a struggle at times.
Really happy memories. I get a really positive feeling still when I walk in the building.
Yes. Yeah, it's got that vibe. There's a vibe.
There were a lot of very good people I met at school, very good teachers. As I said, my Senko was excellent.
It was a great balance of education, but also just fun and enjoyment and just having a nice experience.
I think we should actually organise that reunion, finally.
I think it's probably time.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. All right, let's go and do it, mate.
Cool.
See you later, Bexley Grammar. It's been a pleasure.
See you, BTS.
It's been a pleasure.